And welcome in Mississippi Congressman Michael Guest. Good morning to you. So, Congressman, with the recent operation in Venezuela, the capture of Nicolas Maduro, we've been talking a lot about the midterms. I still think it's going to be the economy, stupid. But what do you think about this military action and how that might impact the midterm elections here at home?
Well, it just goes to show that we have a president who is willing to take decisive action when the time is necessary. Look, this is something that has been talked about for 4 years under the Biden-Harris administration. They talked about how much they hated Maduro, how he was a crook, he was a dictator, that he was repressing the people of Venezuela. They took no action other than to offer a $25 million reward. President Trump did what President Trump needed to do. He brought a criminal to the United States to face charges, and I applaud the actions of the president, and I think it will make Venezuela, the people of Venezuela, they will be freer, and I think it will make our southern hemisphere somewhere that without his presence, that it will be a much better place.
And we were just showing video there of President Trump speaking yesterday, as you know, at the Trump Kennedy Center, addressing House Republicans, urging the GOP that he has given you plenty of ammunition, as he says, to use to help gain traction with voters as we head into a crucial midterm. And he wants you to focus more on the administration's tax and spending cuts, the cuts to drug prices. I know he had a lot of words of encouragement. I hear he spoke for about 90 minutes. I just want to get your reaction to everything he had to say yesterday.
Look, you know, President Trump went through many of the accomplishments that he and a Republican-controlled Congress that we've been able to deliver for the American people over the last year. You know, he did talk about the tax cuts. He talked about the growing economy. You know, the other thing that I think we need to continue to focus on is the amazing work that President Trump has done securing the border. The border is not only secure, but the border is historically secure, and that we are going to see the smallest number of border encounters in the last 50 years. What was a humanitarian crisis under Joe Biden has become really a source of pride in the fact that this president delivered on a campaign promise to the American people that he was going to secure the border. In November, there were only 30,000 encounters along the southwest border. Look at that November of 2023 under Joe Biden, there were over 300,000 that month. You look at the number of unaccompanied minors under the first 10 months of President Trump, that number is under 6,000. If you look at the historic levels under President Joe Biden, we see that for the last 3 years of his administration, that each year you have 100,000 plus unaccompanied minors flowing across the border. So President Trump told the American people that his very first campaign promise was he was going to secure the border. And he reminded us of that the mission accomplished. The border is secure with his bold actions, with the funding from H.R. 1, which will go to build 800 more miles of border walls, 900 miles of river barrier, and $2 billion in additional investment in technology on the southwest border. The border is going to remain secure. The president talked about the tax cuts, the things that he has done to grow the economy. And look, the president doesn't want to stop. It was a rallying speech for Republicans to continue to work hard and to gain wins for the American public.
Hey, Congressman, before we let you go, obviously it's been a rough week for Republicans in the House Republican caucus. You lost one of your members, the tragic, untimely death of California Congressman Doug LaMoffa after a medical illness. Now you've got Indiana Congressman Jim Baird in critical condition following an accident. Marjorie Taylor Greene quitting. I mean, first off, I want to get your reactions, your memories of Doug LaMoffa. And then what does this do to your majority? You now need the support of Thomas Massie, who never votes yes.
You know, I would consider Doug to be the gentle giant. If you ever met Doug, he was a tall, towering individual, but he was someone who had an incredible spirit, someone who was looked up to. He was chair of the Northern Caucus. He was very concerned with environmental issues, water issues, land issues out west. He was a Republican Californian, which we know that is a rare breed here in Washington. You also mentioned Jim Baird from Indiana. Jim and I were classmates. Jim was a Vietnam War veteran. We know that Jim was hospitalized yesterday, but was released from the hospital late yesterday. The reports that I'm getting on Jim were very positive. And then we did lose Marjorie Taylor Greene when she resigned from Congress. So our majority continues to shrink, which is going to require Republican unity. All Republicans are going to have to be on the same page. We're going to have to set aside our differences to work for the American people.
Yeah, and that's good news to hear about Jim Baird being released from the hospital, too. Thank you for that update.